and welcome back to RedStone Productions. I am at the Superbooth 2024 in Berlin, and I'm at the Pro Audio floor together with RME.
Yeah.
So thank you for hosting us and receiving us.
Thank you for coming by.
There's plenty of new units that you actually need to tell us all about.
Okay.
So again, where should we start?
All right. So we have come up with a lot of new products over the last couple of years. We have been very, very busy. So let's start out with the ADI 2 series. So many people know that now. We call them reference class converters, meaning this is the latest and greatest and best conversion that RME has to offer. We put a lot of German engineering into that. Aside from having utmost quality from the converters, they have really powerful headphone amplifiers. So for example, the new ADI 2/4 has up to 4 watts of amplification over the Pentacon balance mode. So you can drive all your really needy headphones with that. It's absolutely amazing. Many people were asking about us because some people, they just want to put it into a rack or wanted to put it elsewhere if we could come up with a remote, right? So last year we announced and released the ADI 2 remote, and we listen a lot to user feedback. So if you want to get in touch with us, it's always a good idea to go to the RME forum. All the developers are there, and they are reading your comments and your ideas. So if you have something that is not already in our interfaces, contact us directly. The ADI 2 remote is essentially what it says it is. It's a remote for every ADI 2 device that we have, including the original ADI 2 from 2016. So we support even that. And depending on your interface and the connectivity that it offers, it has different options available. So for example, in this case, we have the ADI 2/4, which has an AD input and also a phono preamp. So you can hook up a turntable directly to that. Of course, then I go to my line input and I see all those options available. For example, I can turn on the RIA mode with different reference levels. I can even mono the bass for the input, which makes it really like an anti-rumble feature. So there's a lot of stuff going on. The next really cool thing about this is that you can store your headphone presets directly in the ADI 2 remote. So for example, some people like special curves for the headphones, Harman curves and whatever.
Yeah, correct.
So you could do that before in the ADI 2, but it was a bit...
You had to go through the menus.
Exactly. You had to go into the menus, you could do that, but especially like sharing the presets is now just a breeze. Because you can dial in your settings, then you can store that preset, give it a name, give it a preset number, and you can export that. So you can share that with the community. It's like a text file, and you can share that.
So let's say you have your curve that you came up with that sounds best on whatever, ODs, LCDX.
Yeah.
You create a preset for it, and you can even actually share it with others.
Absolutely.
That's madness.
And many people are wondering, hey, if I bought this really expensive headphone, why is it that I need to linearize it? So the thing is, every ear works differently. And me, for example, I'm a DJ, so you can kind of imagine how my treble on the left ear is when I'm standing next to the big subwoofer system.
And you need some extra love.
Exactly. So you can actually compensate for differences in your ear. Let's say you have a tinnitus on the left ear, or your left ear is a little bit has treble issues or whatever. You can actually compensate that. So it's not just your headphone. It's actually what's happening inside your ears. We started out with the ADI 2 remote, and then a lot of feedback, customer feedback came. So the ADI 2 remote is also now with the state overview equipped. And that is something that RME users will love. It's a complete overview of everything that is connected to the ADI 2. So for example, you can see all the digital inputs and what state they're in, like sample rate, what actually the clocking is. You can see the reference level for the output state and the input state. Exactly. So you know exactly what's under the hood, because this is a very complex machine.
Packs a lot of features, and this gives you a global overview of what's going on in the in and out.
Absolutely. And something that I really love, because I, just like you, I'm an analog guy, I go a lot out of the computer and back into the computer, so I need DBU metering. Activate that, and I can see the exact DBU settings and the DBU parameters. So I know if I go into a compressor that has a headroom of, let's say, 21 dBu, maybe it's not a good idea to go full-blown with 24 dBu and already crank up the input stage, right?
Yes.
So there's a lot of stuff that you can see from the actual state. And the ADI2 remote is absolutely free of charge, so everyone can get it and everyone can download it.
And then if I look behind this little window, I can see that something has changed as well with the DigiCheck.
Oh yes. DigiCheck is our audio analyzing and metering software. So you can actually see from the FPGA of the interface and the DSP what's going on in real terms. This is not like a plugin. This is actually reading out what's coming out of the interface and what's going into that.
I mean, I use this every single day. I have a computer screen dedicated just to this. It's always on. Always listening to my 2-bus in. So it's like I can see it.
It's amazing. And now, because we wanted to show it, it's still in the beta phase, but we have so many synthesizer guys out here. You now have an oscilloscope, so you could check your synthesizers up to 8 channels. So you can have up to 8 channels. And have an inbuilt oscilloscope that actually checks what is going on, and then you can add your you can add your channels and layer them on top, so you can see up to 8 signals. Obviously, with the ADI2 now we just have 2 channels. The next big thing that I really like now is we brought back the totalizer. People like myself, who started out with RME in 2009, they love that. The totalizer was a feature that came out with DigiCheck ages ago, and now it's back. So you have, again, the level meter, you have the frequency analyzer, and you have the vector scope now, all in one element, plus additional peak metering and even more. So
glad to see it coming back, man. That's a must-have feature. That's great. Plus, you spoiled us with that.
Exactly.
So it had to come back.
DigiCheck, ADI2 remote, ADI2 series, and now something even better that we have come to, because this is a loaded subject. Many people ask, why have you come up with this? Because power supplies were never our big thing, because we were always like, if you build the device correctly, the power supply doesn't matter. But with the ADI2 series, many hi-fi customers came to us and asked us about power supplies, and they wanted just a power supply that offers 12 volts for their whatever that device they have that needs 12 volts. It's an own product in its own right. You don't need to bundle it. You can use it with the ADI2 if you feel that way, but you can hook up every device that needs 12 volts of power. It's a transformer balanced or linearized power supply, and it gives you 12 volts exactly. So, and you have different state options with the LED, so you can see if there's too much or too low, not enough current. You can see all that right from the device.
Okay, so, is this a product that you aim mainly to the hi-fi guys?
No. So the thing is, that's a loaded term, but RME, as you know, we're always about measurable things. So people were asking us about a linear power supply that would offer what it says it would, and we did it. What you think of it in terms of like sound quality, or if you need it, that's up to you. People were asking us, hey, could you do a really great power supply? And that's what we did. So cool. That's the DPS2.
And it doesn't stop there. What's this unit?
That is our LNI 2DC. This is the name, galvanically isolated, super low noise power filter and stabilizer. Wow. So what that little beauty will give you is, in certain areas across the world, or for example, when you're on the road, getting good power is sometimes an issue. So you have humming, buzzing noises, whatever, this can occur. And this has nothing to do with the interface being bad or anything. This has something to do with electronic issues that can occur. And we give you now a galvanic isolated filter that will get rid of those issues. So no humming, no buzzing. And that is, you can use that with everything from our 12 volt interfaces. So for example, the 12 mic Firefaces that we have available. So there are a lot of different options available. So we just are expanding the toolset. And by the way, of course, if you have a 12 volt device, then you can use that as well. Again, this is not strictly or restricted to RME. This is something that you can buy in its own, for its own purpose.
That's very, very nice. And last but not means least, I've seen something unique on the TotalMix that changed as well,
yes. Right? A lot has changed in the last couple of years, right? With immersive audio, Dolby Atmos, and so on. So people were coming to our forum. Again, visit our forum and write us about it. So now we have something called RME. And RME is our own EQ that we built into TotalMix, and it gives you exactly what it says it would, and that is a 9-band parametric equalizer designed for room equalization. So if you, for example, want to linearize your speakers in a problematic room, you can do that. For example, there are modes or frequencies that are just too overblown like that. Then you can use the room EQ and linearize the speakers. Room EQ can support up to 20 channels. So you can do full LFE management and whatever in an RME interface from now on and do your Dolby setups. By the way, we also have delay compensation.
That's good. So if you have to place positions, position-wise, the speakers are not exactly equidistant from you, you can still time align them. That's great to have as well.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned bass management as well. It's handled in...
Yes, we have some certain ways. We are still working on that. We have low pass and high pass filtering options. We can do certain things right now. We will eventually come up with something more, but we have many customers now that are, as it is, pretty happy with it, because Room EQ is available on top of the normal EQ that you would find in TotalMix. So essentially you have 12 bands instead of 9 if you stack them together, right? So, and for the people that are asking, you can find Room EQ in the toolbox icon, and there it is now, the Room EQ option.
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
That's cool. And this Room EQ feature within the TotalMix, it's already available, of course.
It's already available.
On all of the new product lines, right?
On all the new product lines with DSP features. And it's also available when you have a standalone capable interface. So for example, like UFX III, UFX II, our UCX2, you can use them in a standalone mode. So you can save your Room EQ settings into the state, and then you have a standalone device, and you don't need to always run up your computer. That's pretty handy.
Okay, speaking of which, how about we move over here?
Yeah.
And
so,
yes,
converters, and interfaces. We have essentially renovated our whole lineup. So we have UFX III, UFX II. We had these last year.
We got one of these ourselves in the studio last week.
Me included. I love it. And now we have the 802 FS. So you were asking me before what has changed. So essentially, it has Room EQ. That's important. Up to 20 channels. We have the latest converters. So it has the newest converter technology from RME. And now it has a switch on the back for the CC mode. Okay. So people were asking about how we can do the CC mode. We have a little switch on the back now, so you can activate or deactivate the CC mode. This is pretty handy. And CC means class compliant. So that means you can use it with Linux, you can use it on the iPad, you can use it essentially with everything that has a class-compliant driver, even like certain synthesizers or groove machines like the Machine Plus or something like that. Before I forget it, the Room EQ is also available with the TotalMix remote and TotalMix on the iPad, and the same is true for the ADI2 remote. And again, you can get them for free on the Mac App Store. You can get the ADI2 remote for free, right? So just for clarification, we support a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot to cover. So
that's actually a lot to cover.
I'm really glad I stopped by. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for your time.
Keep doing what you guys doing.
Thank
Keep
you
up
so
with
much.
it. That's cool.
And enjoy Superbooth.
I will.